This is CBC Nova Scotia News.
Fatal crash. 2 Air Canada pilots are dead after a plane collides with a fire truck at New York's LaGuardia airport.
Rents cool. Halifax's big landlords report lower annual increases for 2025.
And celebrated Mi'kmaq artist Leonard Paul marks 50 years of mastery with a career-spanning exhibit.
Snow tapering to flurries through this evening and then clearing as we move throughout the day on Tuesday. Your full forecast is coming up.
Good evening. We begin with a major airline tragedy in New York.
2 Air Canada pilots are dead after a late Sunday collision at LaGuardia Airport. The express jet crashed into a fire truck during landing. 41 people were taken to hospital, including the truck's drivers. Most have since been released.
76 people had been on the plane from Montreal when the incident happened just before midnight. Here's the audio from air traffic controllers after initially giving the truck clearance to cross the runway.
Stop, truck 1. Stop. Stop, truck 1. Stop. I messed up.
No, man, you did the best you could.
We went down for a regular landing. We came in pretty hard. We immediately hit something, and it was just chaos from there. About 5 seconds later, we had come to a stop. But in that short period, I mean, everybody was hunkered down and everybody was screaming.
The crash resulted in an airport shutdown and the cancellation of flights. Canada has deployed a team to assist U.S. authorities with the investigation.
AC 8646 was an Air Canada Express flight operated by Jazz Aviation. Their parent company, Chorus Aviation, is headquartered in Dartmouth. CBC's Brett Ruskin has more.
Behind me here is the headquarters for Chorus Aviation. It is the parent company of Jazz Aviation that was operating this flight. And earlier today, we saw a statement from Chorus Aviation, from its president and CEO, saying the entire Chorus family is mourning the loss of our Jazz colleagues. Chorus is standing firmly behind the Jazz team, ensuring they have every support necessary as they look after those affected by this tragedy. And we also heard from the Airline Pilots Association, representing the pilots killed in this incident, saying the loss of our 2 fellow crew members aboard Flight 8646 is a profound tragedy. These pilots dedicated their careers to the safe transport of passengers, and we are thinking of their families, loved ones, and colleagues at Jazz Aviation during this devastating time. We also heard from Jazz Aviation in a statement saying that they have been and they are continuing to work with the various agencies who are investigating this incident. Brett Ruskin, CBC News, Dartmouth, Nova Scotia.
A Nova Scotia teen has agreed to remain in jail for a month while facing charges of uttering threats and conspiracy to commit murder. The teen, who uses the pronouns he and him, was previously identified by Bridgewater police as a girl. He's accused of planning an attack on his high school and was accused alongside a 14-year-old Manitoba boy who was allegedly also planning a similar attack at his school. A bail hearing planned for today has been postponed to allow for the preparation of a special report on the suspect's background.
We have been told that the matter is still under investigation. The police are still collecting information, so things could change with respect to charges depending on what is located by the police.
A publication ban protects the identities of both the Nova Scotia and Manitoba teens. Officers searched a Nova Scotia residence and discovered handwritten plans, imitation weapons, including an imitation pipe bomb and assault rifle. The case returns to court on April 22nd.
A search continues for a missing Colchester County man. 47-year-old Jason Lorette was last seen in Salmon River on Thursday and reported missing on Friday. A vulnerable missing person alert was sent out on Sunday afternoon. Police say Lorette walks with a noticeable gait and may be wearing a blue flannel jacket. Ground search and rescue teams and RCMP Air and Police Dog Services have been searching near Harmony Road. Police are asking people to check their doorbell cameras and outbuildings.
2 landlords owning thousands of apartments in Halifax are reporting lower annual rent increases in 2025 from the year before. It's another sign the rental market may be stabilizing. But as Andrew Lamb reports, there continues to be demand for affordable apartments.
Lately, we've been seeing signs that Halifax's rental market might be slowing down, and now there's more evidence coming from the financial results of 2 landlords owning more than 9,000 rental units combined. The company CapREIT, for example, saw its average rent go up about 4%. That's about half the increase of the previous year.
We're seeing across both large landlords as well as really landlords of all sizes that the ability to push rents higher, raise the market prices is a lot more constrained now.
Lovett researches housing. He says increased competition and lower demand are mainly affecting the more expensive units so far. According to StatsCan, the average asking rent for a 2-bedroom apartment in Halifax was more than $2,200 in the last 3 months of 2025. That's down 7% from its peak in the second quarter of 2024. For those most in need of affordable rentals, however, Lovett says things probably haven't changed much.
We still definitely see very low vacancy in the cheaper units, low vacancy in the older units.
Similarly, landlord Killam Apartment REIT says it's continuing to see strong demand for competitively priced rentals.
The lower price point is what's being sought after right across the country.
Last year was the first time in the last 8 years that Killam's annual average rent increase was less than the year before. At the end of 2025, Killam's average rent went up about 7%. In 2024, it was an 8% increase. Still, Lovett warns that Halifax's rental market is not out of the woods yet.
Before the pandemic, we were still having growing challenges in the rental market with increasing rent and decreasing vacancy, and we're still generally trending, at least now, above or at where we were in that time period.
Whether or not the effects of increased competition and lower demand that we're seeing with expensive units will trickle down to the more affordable ones, Lovett says will depend on how long those trends last. Andrew Lamb, CBC News, Halifax.
A return to winter-like conditions. Let's check in with Ryan Snoddon.
Yes, there was snow when you woke up in the morning today.
Spring snow, yes. Yes, listen, it's definitely been a little wintry rewind, we'll put it that way, yesterday into this morning and throughout the day, and in fact into tomorrow morning, into Tuesday morning as well, and even into the afternoon for Cape Breton. This is additional snowfall. We'll see another trace to a couple centimeters wrap around flurries on the backside of the system in the west, 2 to 5 for most of the east, but some pockets of 5 to 10, Antigonish, Guysborough, and Cape Breton in the Highlands could even see 10 to 15 centimeters of additional snow on the backside of this system. And yes, as the bulk of the snow heads out towards Newfoundland, still some wraparound flurries that are going to be in place into Tuesday morning. And so Tuesday morning's commute will likely be slick, especially in the northeast along the 104 and into Cape Breton. It could be greasy towards western and central areas, so just be mindful of that. As we work our way into Tuesday afternoon, we're going to see the sunshine returning. Quick moving cold front will spark some flurries for Wednesday, mixing to a few showers, and then watching a larger system, maybe a bit of a messy mix Thursday morning, but we're changing over to rain. Your full 7-day is coming up.
All right. Do stay tuned. Thanks, Ryan.
Thank you, Ryan.
The NASCAD strike has come to an end. After more than 2 weeks of employees walking picket lines in front of the downtown campus, a majority of unionized staff voted 89% in favor of arbitration. That includes 133 independent course appointees, along with teaching and research assistants. Workers went on strike looking for higher wages and job security on March the 4th.
Some CFL fans say they're still waiting for promised refunds on season ticket deposits for a Halifax franchise that never took the field. After complaints, officials with the Atlantic Schooners launched a refund website last year, but some fans say their money has not been returned. At least 6,000 deposits were made at $50 a ticket. Refunds were promised within 30 to 60 days of making a request. Anthony LeBlanc was the public face of the Schooners operation. He did not respond to a request for an interview.
Members of Nova Scotia's Black Loyalist communities are celebrating the inclusion of their history in a UNESCO register. A collection of documents detailing the history of their community was included in the UN organization's Memory of the World program. It aims to preserve and protect the world's documentary heritage. Sheila Hartley-Scott, president of the Black Loyalist Heritage Centre, says the Black Loyalists had to face many hardships, as is reflected in the collection.
The community will see this as a stepping stone in what we hope to achieve in the future, and that there is movement, there is success, and there is recognition.
The collection is jointly held by the Nova Scotia Archives, the Black Loyalist Heritage Centre, the Shelburne County Museum, and the Provincial Archives of New Brunswick.
Master watercolorist and painter Leonard Paul has reached a new milestone. He's been creating artwork in different mediums for 50 years. The CBC's Alex Guy met with Paul at the Treaty Space Gallery to hear more about his exhibition.
From afar, these might look like photographs, but nearly every piece of art in this gallery was created with brushstrokes. Some are watercolor, some oil, and there's even an engraving on metal. They're part of a recent exhibit called The Best of Two Worlds, 50 Years of Art by Leonard Paul. Born and raised in Halifax, but a member of Pictou Landing First Nation, Paul combines his Mi'kmaq heritage with aspects of his Western upbringing.
I realized that I was too filled up, I suppose, thinking in the white society attitudes, and didn't know anything much about my heritage. And so it was afterwards that I started going back. Hence, to be the best of two worlds was definitely going into a formation, knowing both, and it's fusing together quite well in my career today.
This piece, called Ready to Go, was his first watercolor, and it took nearly 4 months to complete. Before this, he'd done a few years of pencil drawings, but wanted to try using color.
I made so many mistakes, and I almost gave up. But I feel it's my forte now. It's something I'm comfortable with.
After 50 years, Paul says this exhibition was a big moment for him.
I've never seen so many of my paintings all in one glance, and I thought it was really fantastic. It hit me that I was really diversified because I would paint watercolors, I would draw soft pastels, and I would do a mezzotint intaglio print. This is a plethora of all these mediums, and it was so nice to see them in one glance.
But now, after decades of painting hyperrealism, Paul says he feels a change in his art is coming.
I'm thinking of going into illustrations. So you will see landscapes, but you might see a giant or a wood nymph in the paintings now. And hopefully in fantasy work, I want to do, like Walt Disney or Lord of the Rings, I'd like to continue on with the landscapes, but they're going to be in the background.
And another change is coming. In May, he'll finally walk across the stage to get his Bachelor of Fine Arts degree from NASCAD. He stopped 6 credits short almost 50 years ago because he wanted to get his art career started. Alex Guy, CBC News, Halifax.
Well, young speed skaters from Ontario and eastward competed in the Short Track Youth Championship East this past weekend.
Hosted in Dartmouth's RBC Centre, many of these kids hope to go pro one day. Have a look.
Well, I'm here for the Canada Youth Eastern Championships. It's a speed skating tournament, which is why I am here today. Yeah, you know, Quebec is often the dominant force at these competitions, so I'm not in like a podium spot or anything, but I feel like for my first national level competition, I've been doing really well.
It feels like I'm scared to race against them, but I know that I can like compete against them, and I feel like I really want to beat them because Nova Scotia is a smaller province, and I just want to like represent as best as I can. This morning I raced a 1200 meter, and everyone was very close, and I needed to make lots of prestigious passes, and I needed to know where I was and make sure I set it up right so I didn't end up crashing.
I like racing and going fast, and it's like exhilarating to race around the track. Wise today wasn't great, but like in general, skating has a lot of ups and downs, so you kind of have to go with it. And yeah, I had a fall and didn't make the races I wanted to be in. So Courtney Sorrow, who medaled, is like a really big inspiration for me because she like shows me that I can be good even though I'm from a small province in the Maritimes.
Picturesque Herring Cove. Ryan is up next with a full weather forecast. Stay with us.
This weather update is brought to you in part by Atlantic Lottery's iGames. Play hundreds of games on the Atlantic Lottery app or at alc.ca.
All right, for those of you who needed the reminder of what winter was like, well, we got it. We got some snow.
Yes, we certainly did, but it's not sticking around too long, right?
No, and whatever snowfall has fallen and will fall is going to be wiped out by the rain as we push our way into Thursday and Friday as well. Looks like a kind of a back-to-back shot of some rain, but a little more snow involved before we get there. Let's first have a look at our webcam shot, and yeah, quiet Arndale Rotary. And note that the pavement, for the most part, has been bare today here in the Halifax area. I kept an eye on 511 today during my radio hits. And yeah, there were some greasy spots and snow-covered spots this morning and again this afternoon. But for the most part, that March sun angle really, really helps. And it was most notable to me with the sunshine yesterday. Heated the pavement up, and then even when I went to bed last night, the snow still wasn't accumulating on the roads on my street anyway. So the March sun angle really helps us in these types of systems, especially when the temperature is right around the freezing mark, which it has been. We're right around 0 to -2, -3, -4 in through Cape Breton and Antigonish right now. The winds, they are actually going to be continuing to be pretty strong for tonight. We're sustained right now in the 20, 30 kilometer per hour range, and we are going to be continuing to gust in the 40, 50, 60 kilometer per hour range. And in fact, as we move into tonight and tomorrow morning, gusts to 70, looking pretty likely here across the northeast and across Cape Breton, along parts of the coast anyway. Let's have a look at the radar, and things have filled in pretty nicely here across the east and back into Halifax, just in time for that drive home this evening and into Cape Breton. But note the back edge of this steadiest snow is now pulling off the mainland and will pull away from Cape Breton as well. It's on the backside of this system. We're going to see some flurries wrapping in and across the province. You can see that flurry action there across New Brunswick and into Maine right now. That will all swing in and sweep across the province for tonight, bringing us some additional light snowfall. Note, this is the next system we're going to be watching, a cold front, which will be dropping our temperatures, not significantly, but we will feel a bit of a temperature drop into Wednesday night. And then we're watching another warm push of air to come in for Thursday into Friday. Warm, definitely all relative this time of year. As we look at the temperatures for tonight, -3 to -4, northerly winds gusting to 50, 60, and even 70. Strongest gusts in all cases along parts of the coast. Additional snowfall, there it is, traced to a couple centimeters in the west, 2 to as much as 5 near the 102, but especially east of Highway 102 and the 104 and out into the Cape Breton region. That's our best chance of 5 to 10 centimeters of additional snowfall by the time we get to Tuesday afternoon. So there's the back edge of the snow, as we said, moving out, and those additional flurries moving in. The winds, definitely, as we said, are going to be a factor overnight tonight. Northeast, then north as we turn the page into Tuesday morning. Flurries on tap for tomorrow morning. As I mentioned earlier in the program, Tuesday morning could be a little on the greasy side, even greasier than it was this morning in some cases, given the temperatures have had a chance to cool. And so the pavement and asphalt and surfaces have had a chance to cool as well. So it won't take as much snow to accumulate overnight tonight into tomorrow morning, making things slick as temperatures are going to be below the freezing mark. So a heads up on that. Note, as we move into the afternoon, we're going to be looking at some sunshine breaking through. Cape Breton, you folks, maybe some late day sunshine. Winds are going to be gusting to around 70 kilometers per hour for you folks, with temperatures -2 to -3. The sun breaking in for eastern, central, western areas of the province. The winds easing throughout the afternoon. There's Wednesday. We'll see some showers mixed with some flurries, and here's how that will play out as the front moves through. Wednesday, pretty cloudy to start the day, and then some sunshine breaking through western and central areas into the afternoon as this mixes over to a few showers. And then our next system rolls in, perhaps a bit of a messy commute Thursday morning, changing to rain though, and a pretty good shot of rain for Thursday. And then this system will have kind of a secondary low developing along its cold front, and that will bring a second push of rain in for Friday. Snow for New Brunswick and Prince Edward Island looking possible, however, if you're traveling look at those temperatures Saturday. Yeesh. And then we are kind of warming up, I guess, Sunday and into Monday as spring does its springing thing.
I think Mother Nature's kind of confused.
Yeah,
I think.
it's all relative this time of year, isn't it?
Definitely.
Okay, thanks so much, Ryan.
Thank you.
Well, this past weekend, athletes from across Canada were in Halifax for an annual cheer event.
More than 120 teams and thousands of athletes, included several hundred from Nova Scotia, competed. Have a look.
So what you just saw was the adaptive abilities teams. So they're put together from all different teams. So they have tryouts and athletes from all different teams come together and put together a routine to go and represent either Nova Scotia. So they represented Nova Scotia for Cheer Canada, and then were selected from there to represent Canada at the ICU Championships. They are doing gymnastics and they are doing stunting, putting people up in the air. There's some elements of dance. So it's basically a 2.5-minute routine where they're doing stunting, pyramids, jumps, tumbling, dance, like a variety of skills. And they're being scored on each of those elements by different judges up on the stand. And it's all broken down into different divisions based on age group and level. So
we're at Cheer Expo competing with our amazing team. This is a big competition of this season. It's definitely one of my favorites. We're hoping that we're going to get the golden buzzer. The golden buzzer is when the crowd and the judges really like your routine, and the screen over there lights up, and there's a banner that comes down that says golden buzzer, and there's and it goes over all the speakers. You do really good, and the judges really like your routine.
I cheer on Team Canada, our Adaptive Abilities Unified All-Girl Team, new edition, and I also cheer with Mafia on Halifax Cheerleading. I also coach 2 teams, and today I competed on Team Canada. I actually compete on that team with my little sister, so that's unique. She's 12 and I'm 24, so it's kind of cool. I get to cheer with my sister. That experience is something I've always dreamed of. Like when she was born, I would have been her age now, and I always wanted her in cheerleading. Like I got so excited. I was like, please come do cheerleading, and the fact that I am still doing it and she's on the same team as me is kind of wild to me. We actually got first place. I mean, it was kind of cool. We got the gold medals. They look so cool this weekend, and we're hoping to do the same thing at Worlds when we go to ICU.
I used to cheer when I was in junior high, but it was different. We were just at hockey games doing like the rah-rah stuff, and then it just kind of transformed into the competitive atmosphere. And when I first started, it was just 2 programs in Nova Scotia. We competed in like school gymnasiums on a hardwood floor, and now we have to rent these big facilities, and it's this big production. It's grown so much in the past just 20 years.
Coming up, despite concerns about last year's drought, Nova Scotia's maple syrup season is off to a sweet start. A few months ago, there was plenty of concern about the potential impacts of last year's drought on maple syrup production in this province. But this year's season has been a pleasant surprise for producers so far. Paul McKenzie owns Highland Gold Maple Products in Boisdale Hills on Cape Breton Island. Mr. McKenzie, what are you seeing out there now that the sap is running?
Well, we've had a couple of decent runs so far. Last week was quite a nice run. The conditions have been good. So far, the weather has been staying cold, and then we get a little bump for warm temperatures, which really helps. This week doesn't look too promising. We might get a little bump on Wednesday or Thursday. The proof is in the pudding to see how well the season goes once everything's all done.
Yeah. So would you describe this as an early start to the season or plentiful so far? How would you describe it?
I would say it's probably at par. Normally we start tapping the trees around the middle of February, and somewhere's around the second week in March we start running. And this is probably on par to what it was in the past. Some years it has started earlier, and other years it's been much later. But usually March is usually a finicky month where the temperatures are big swings. So we're going really high or really low type of thing, and it kind of balances out when we get closer to the end of March.
Yeah, so the concern was that the dry conditions last summer would affect production this spring. That doesn't seem to be happening, at least not so far. What do you think the difference has been?
I'm not sure. Like everything about the maple industry is all about farming, so we can't predict what's going to take place. We have an idea that maybe it's going to be a slower year or a faster year, but then the weather kind of changes how the whole season will come down the pipe. So one of the big things is what happens in the springtime with the pluses and minuses of temperatures. So if we have a lot of really good days, then we seem to have a decent yield. The drought conditions in the summertime in my area wasn't too hard on the maple trees. The birches, where they're shallowed roots, really had a hard time. But I think in our area, they didn't do too bad. It was dry, but it wasn't as bad as what it was on the birches.
So maybe we're showing it, perhaps in your area at least, that groundwater wasn't the big issue a lot of people thought it might be, and that maple trees are, what shall we say, resilient?
Yeah, resilient is one way of putting it, but they have a deeper root system, so they kind of can hold on to a little bit more water. In my particular area, there's a lot of ground springs, so all summer long there was still water running. So it wasn't as dry as it was in some areas. The birch trees are much shallower, so that their root system weren't getting into the deeper spring water. And they store a lot of water as well in the roots, so they could suck up when they can, and then when they don't, well, then it's a little bit different.
Well, people love their maple syrup for sure. I hear the markets have been pretty good for your product and for products in this industry. What's driving that? How do you describe the market?
I think the markets, most people are looking for, like an organic type of sugar, sugar that's easy, to digest. It's not refined. It's locally made. There's a lot of things that happened in the last little while that had people looking at for products that are in our area. So that's definitely helping. But the big thing is it's a nice sugar with a very unique flavor.
And buy Canadian, buy local, that can't hurt either, I guess, can it?
No, yeah, exactly, right. So, keeping into the local markets, the farmers markets, the, buy Nova Scotian or buy Canadian, it all helps.
Okay, I know it's difficult to predict these things, being in agriculture as you are. What are you looking for temperatures the next little while? What are you thinking about how the season might look for the duration of it?
According to the long-range forecast, it sounds like we're going to have a slow, cold spring, but that can change. It doesn't take very long before the weather forecast is saying one thing and we wind up with something else. So hopefully we'll keep running right up until, the middle, third week, maybe even later than that in April would be nice.
All right. We wish you well with it. Paul McKenzie, thank you so much.
Oh, thank you.
Coming up, Canadian investigators will join a probe into Sunday's deadly runway collision at LaGuardia Airport.
And as Australia settles into age-restricted social media, Canada and other countries are mulling whether to join in. Welcome back. As we heard earlier, 2 Air Canada pilots are dead after an overnight collision at New York's LaGuardia Airport.
Katie Nicholson has more details, and we warn that viewers might find some of the video disturbing.
The mangled wreckage tells part of the story, the nose sheared off. The collision between an Air Canada Jazz flight and a fire truck killed the 2 pilots and injured more than 40 people, including 2 firefighters.
We were honestly sleeping and then landing, and all of a sudden, boom, woke up in shock, just didn't know what to do.
We went down for a regular landing, and we came in pretty hard. We immediately hit something, and it was just chaos in there.
One of our friends was several rows back from us, and
We walked past him on the way out because he was trying to find his glasses, and his nose was totally broken, bleeding like on his face.
The fire truck had been dispatched to another plane, which had reported a strange odor, but ended up in the path of the Canadian jet.
Stop, truck one. Stop. Stop, truck one. Stop.
From air traffic control, 3 words that will no doubt play heavily in the investigation.
I messed up.
Exactly how this unfolded and what led up to this tragedy now under the microscope as Canadian and American transportation officials comb over the evidence. The Transportation Secretary faced questions about how well staffed LaGuardia's air traffic control tower is. Chronic shortages have plagued America's airports.
This airport has a target of 37 controllers at LaGuardia. We have 33 controllers employed, certified at LaGuardia, and we have 7 actually that are in training. So as our airports go, LaGuardia is a very well-staffed airport.
Things are returning to normal at LaGuardia. Some flights have taken off, but the Transportation Secretary warns it will be operating at a reduced capacity as long as the wreckage remains on site for the investigation. Katie Nicholson, CBC News, New York.
Immigration officers in tactical gear are on the job in terminals at some busy airports in the U.S. Deployed during a partial government shutdown, the officers are there to help manage long security lines. The ICE agents haven't been arresting passengers or screening them, but some travelers say their presence is unsettling. Many Transportation Security Administration employees have been absent recently, having not been paid in weeks. Funding for the Department of Homeland Security, which oversees the TSA, ended last month. Democrats refused to fund ICE and Customs and Border Protection without changes to their operations. That came after 2 American citizens died during altercations with ICE agents.
Donald Trump says the U.S. and Iran have held talks on, quote, the complete and total resolution of hostilities in the Middle East. But Iran says there haven't been any talks, so it's hard to know where the truth lies or what lies ahead. Sasha Petrovic has more.
Just hours before Donald Trump's deadline was set to kick in, hours before he'd promised to attack Iran and destroy its power-generating infrastructure, Trump issued a couple of statements which seemed to change all that. He said that over the last couple of days, there were very good and productive conversations between the U.S. and Iran, and that raised the possibility of the total resolution of hostilities in the Middle East. And as a result, those attacks would be put on hold for 5 days, and the talks would continue. Now, U.S. media is quoting government officials there as saying that there had been indirect conversations, talks between the U.S. and Iran using mediators from Turkey, from Egypt, and from Pakistan, and that's how we got to this stage. Now, Iranian media, the government news agencies, are reporting that officials there are saying there have been no talks, either direct or indirect, and that the U.S. is just simply responding to Iranian threats of their own if, in fact, the U.S. did attack. Iran had said that if the attack went ahead, that if the U.S. did up its military action against Iran, that it would entirely close the Strait of Hormuz and that it would send missiles out targeting its neighbors in the Gulf states even more than they have so far. The U.S. had said that Iran had to open the Strait of Hormuz, otherwise it would go ahead with those attacks. So there's been a lot of back and forth on this, a lot of confusion also from Donald Trump, because he's issued actually conflicting statements over the last 2 days. Some suggesting that this U.S. military action, the war, was actually winding down, and others threatening Iran even more with these various attacks and sending Marines on ships sailing toward the region, suggesting some kind of a ground operation there to go ahead with the air and naval operation. Sasha Petrovic, CBC News, Jerusalem.
In what the British Prime Minister is calling a deeply shocking anti-Semitic arson attack, 4 ambulances belonging to a Jewish charity were set on fire overnight in London. Authorities say oxygen cylinders on the vehicles exploded, shattering windows in a nearby building. Security footage showed 3 people in hooded jackets approaching before the ambulances were engulfed in flames. No injuries were reported and no arrests have been made, but a group described as an Iran-aligned collective claimed responsibility online. That claim has not been confirmed.
Alberta is shutting down 2 more supervised consumption sites, places where people can take illegal hard drugs under a watchful eye as a way to reduce poisoning deaths. Sam Sampson takes us to an Alberta community that lost its site a year ago to see what the impact has been.
Helping them inject drugs is not helping people. That's putting poison into their arms.
Alberta's stance on addiction is clear. Harm reduction hurts, recovery heals. The province is closing supervised consumption sites in Lethbridge and Calgary, instead funding treatment and detox centers, which it says will increase public safety.
People within the community that have a right to walk down the street and not inhale secondhand crystal meth smoke.
The province has closed other sites, including in Red Deer a year ago. A government-funded study published in a peer-reviewed journal suggests there's been no statistically detectable increase in opioid-related deaths since that site closed, though it says its results are inconclusive.
We have one study that is standing in contrast to a large body of research that shows that these sites are helpful, and I don't think it's ever wise to make policy decisions of this magnitude based on a single study.
Those working in addiction services stress the need for options.
There's more investment into recovery beds, that's great too, but it shouldn't come at the cost of the services that are the entryway into that programming either. I think we need the full spectrum.
What should people in Lethbridge and Calgary be prepared for now that these sites are closing?
I think they should definitely be prepared for increased public drug use. Removing services won't change whether or not people are going to use drugs. They have to become more creative and more discreet in how they're going to be doing that.
Ontario also recently cut funding to supervised consumption sites. Without staff to test drugs, critics warn of consequences.
The drug supply keeps changing. They can change in Ontario at a blink of an eye. And you might see spike in overdoses. So again, having these sites is very helpful and crucial to mitigate some of these changes that often do happen.
Alberta's changes leave the province with 3 supervised consumption sites, including 2 in Edmonton. All sites, the province says, are under review. Sam Sampson, CBC News, Edmonton.
A Coca-Cola bottling company recently fired an Alberta factory worker after he suffered a serious workplace injury. In a 5-minute phone call, the man was told he was out of a job after 35 years with the company. Rosa Marcatelli of Go Public has more.
This is where Sean Hopkins has landed. He's being retrained through Workers' Compensation Alberta to type with one hand, hoping to find a new job. That's after Coca-Cola Canada Bottling Limited terminated him from his factory job of 35 years after he was badly injured at work.
I don't know that I've seen any postings for one-handed typing.
2 years ago, the 57-year-old's shoulder joint was ripped from its socket when a 900-kilogram overhead sliding door he was operating malfunctioned, he says.
Insane pain. Yeah, it was really, really bad pain.
He says he had repeatedly warned his supervisor and the maintenance department about the problem, but it wasn't fixed. When asked about that, Coca-Cola Bottling did not answer the question. An even bigger shock came this February. Hopkins says in a 5-minute phone call with the company, he was told he's out of a job, terminated. No benefits, no severance.
Not even a handshake. 35 years, not even a handshake.
The company points to a rarely used legal principle. It's called frustration of employment, and it allows a company to terminate a worker if continuing to employ them would cause undue hardship to the company.
I find it absolutely abhorrent.
This labor and human rights lawyer says frustration is hard to prove, especially with a company of more than 6,000 employees that just opened a new $75 million high-tech facility in Calgary.
I have a really hard time believing that there's no work throughout this entire organization.
Coca-Cola Bottling, which says it operates independently from Coca-Cola Company, says it works with medical professionals, Workers' Compensation Alberta, and the union to find other jobs for injured employees within the company, but couldn't find anything for Hopkins. Adding it followed Alberta labor laws. It says it's now up to Workers' Compensation to support Hopkins.
How do you treat somebody like that that's given you 35 years?
Hopkins is trying to recover, if that's possible. He doesn't know yet. He's fighting the termination through his union. Rosa Marcatelli, CBC News, Calgary.
It's been nearly 4 months since Australia's historic social media ban for kids under 16. Advocates say it's working and helps protect children from online harm.
But some parents say the ban is not very effective. Deanna Sumanak-Johnson has more.
This Australian radio broadcaster and father of 3 poured his passion for his children into advocacy for age restriction for social media use.
The strangers that you wouldn't welcome into your house are being welcomed onto their screens.
At the end of last year, Australia became the first country to ban social media for teens under 16, a move the government said was necessary to stem harms like the addictive nature of the platforms, cyberbullying and mental health impacts.
This means from 10 December, these services must take reasonable steps to prevent under 16s from holding accounts.
3 months into the ban, Michael Whiffley says it brought about some positive changes.
You know, I have mums messaging saying, today we played in the backyard as a family. We threw a ball and created a ridiculous game we've never done before because we haven't spent the time doing that because the kids are off the screen.
But not everyone thinks the ban is working.
We instead have policed our kids, parented our kids online always. We didn't notice any difference.
Kate Gotham's eldest, now 16, was 15 at the time the ban kicked in.
Tell me, Ilias, for you, how difficult or easy was it to access social media while you were still 15?
I heard that people had to scan their faces and stuff, but I never had to do that.
Experts say whether the ban is working or not will be seen in longer term. And watching that Aussie experiment with eager eyes, Canadians who say we need some sort of restrictions here, including Jenny Perez.
We know about what happened with tobacco, with drunk driving, and many other topics that require the norm to change. Things change only if we all as a society step up, including parents, schools, leaders of the community, and government.
When asked, Prime Minister Mark Carney said that a possible age restriction on social media use in Canada merits a parliamentary debate, but internationally the momentum is growing. Indonesia's under 16 restrictions are kicking in this week, and France's are just awaiting Senate approval. Deanna Sumanak-Johnson, CBC News, Toronto.
Canada's main stock index gained more than 560 points on Monday, while U.S. stock markets also rallied. Here's a look at the numbers as we head to break.
This weather update is brought to you in part by Atlantic Lottery's iGames. Play hundreds of games on the Atlantic Lottery app or at alc.ca.
All right, I didn't put the shovel away because I didn't want to tempt fate here,
Good
but
thinking.
didn't have to use it very much, though.
Yeah, just a light skim, right?
Yeah, that's
Not too
right.
bad.
Just to clear the walkways and the sidewalks and make sure we're not tracking that snow into the house.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
But it is definitely going to be taken care of by Mother Nature as we move through the rest of this week, which is great. We'll get to the forecast in a second. First, our viewer picture of the day, and zooming in on Wallace Bay in northern Nova Scotia. Have a look at this.
Oh, company.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Quite the pair, quite the good-looking pair from Donna. Thank you so much for sharing this. Yeah, beautiful pic here. Ryan's picks at cbc.ca. So for tonight and into Tuesday, we're looking at another 5 to 10 centimeters, Cape Breton and Aganesh into Guysborough County, and even toward Mount Tom and through the Pictou County area. Does look like generally 2 to 5 through central areas, Halifax, an additional couple of centimeters, and then amounts drop off toward the west. And it's all thanks to the flurries that are going to be moving in behind this main line, which is moving its way out. And it's indeed those wraparound flurries, which do fill in pretty substantially overnight tonight, enough to drop those additional totals. And you can see into Tuesday morning. We're looking at some flurries lingering, especially for the eastern half of the mainland and into Cape Breton, especially where the snow will continue. And then we're tapering off, looking at the sun breaking through into the afternoon, but don't let that wind fool you. It will be brisk. Temperatures for tomorrow are going to be cool. We'll run you through that in a second. There's the front that comes through on Wednesday. Some flurries mixed with some showers. And then maybe a little bit of a slick drive on Thursday morning for northern areas, but a change to rain, and we'll follow that up with more rain on Friday with temperatures mid-single digits, which is about as warm as it gets over the next 7.
Yeah, that's about it. Okay, thanks so much, Ryan. Well, a new and very special resident of a zoo in Berlin has been named. Lily was born just after New Year's. Her name was selected from more than 1,000 suggestions by zoo visitors.
Lily's mother is an Indonesian tiger known as a Sumatran tiger. There are only about 600 to 800 left in the world.
The director of the zoo says it's important to realize that they are carrying vital genes.
Beautiful animal, aren't they?
Yeah, they are.
That is it for us tonight. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.
Good night.
Good night.